I'm very late tonight, and I apologize. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just make sure that the stream is up and running and we can jump into it. So I really don't have any good excuses. This week's been a bit of an odd one. Obviously, we had the Dirty Rectangles meetup. That's a local game developer meetup, which I like to try and attend and show some support for. But that of course meant that Wednesday was empty. And I'm not going to lie, today I've been feeling a lot of pressure in terms of getting a lot of games done. So I'd like to do some Everspace 2, because of course I was given a key for that from Rockfish. I'm very grateful for it, but obviously, I want to make sure that I do that right. And then on top of that, I really enjoyed... you already know that I really enjoyed Industries of Titan, and I was actually well on my way to starting that tonight. But as the hours kept going by, I sort of leaned a little bit more towards Hollow Knight. Not, it's not that I dislike Hollow Knight, but I actually think, oddly enough, there is a bigger danger of me spending too much time on Industries of Titan tonight, whereas Hollow Knight I sort of feel like is the sort of thing that I can. I've had some really late nights with Hollow Knight, but I wanted to sort of get my. I guess I wanted to get my basics in terms of just. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. Like, kind of reacquainting myself with exploration in the game, for instance. I don't know, just generally taking, reconnecting with the stuff that originally sort of interested me in the game. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I should be able to make it through the... I should be able to make it through the stream without too much of a late night, whereas Industries of Titan, I really feel like that's one that I'm gonna... Like, I can see a lot of reasons why I would want to dig in deep on that one, and that's normally a good place to be, except for the fact that I'm very late, so that's my excuse anyway. A corpse in white armor. Okay. And it seems like there's a shield when you hit it with a dream nail. Now, I was under the impression that I was blocked from that. But it has been a while, so... Where have you gone, dear king? Hidden station. A toll machine with the symbol of a stag. Insert geo? Yes. One way or the other, I'm very happy to be streaming again. I will... No guarantees it's going to be... I know sometimes when I'm late I go really long to sort of make up for it. I'm actually specifically trying to avoid that. But I will try and make sure that we have some quality time. So this is suggesting to me that I may be able to go below the palace grounds. It may be a bridge, but I think there's a possibility that I might be able to go down below. Ah, what a station this is, hidden all the way at the bottom of the world. Until I heard the bell calling, I didn't even know that the stagways traveled so deep. You've discovered something quite astounding, little one. No matter how old I grow, the world still keeps surprises like this stowed away. Okay. I might take advantage of the offer. Let's see if we can find something... See if we can come up with an argument one way or the other. So the argument for traveling the stagways would be that we've seen everything that we want in the ancient basin. So... Kingdom's Edge might be a natural place to go, although how I get there is a whole other question. Um, Thing is, it's also on the way to the Coliseum of Fools, so I'm sure I'll wind up trying another round. I'm not opposed to going back to the Coliseum, despite the stream title, but I feel like I should at least make an effort to check out some other things. So maybe I just want to take the tram and double check Deep Nest, Queen Station. Not Queen Station. It's the water. Well, the water area is not going to show me anything. But yeah, there's stuff in Green Path. Actually, you know, maybe a trip back to Green Path is what I really want here. There's probably going to be some repetition from last time, but given that I now have the ability to jump in the air. Oh yes, there's a dream fight that I was struggling with that I'd like to go back to, but actually I have no idea where that was. I'll try it again another time. So I suppose the only place I would want to check here would be down twice and then to the left. So one of the things that I'm particularly geared towards on this playthrough is, or not playthrough, but on this evening is, I felt like the first few rounds of the Coliseum were me getting reacquainted with how the game works. And, but against some of the harder challenges inside of the game. Whereas here, you know, I can sort of afford to bounce around and be a little silly and, you know, hit the wrong button. I'm sure there's other reasons why I find the Coliseum difficult, but this is a much more relaxed environment for me to remember how this all works. I'd love to play this a little bit more than what my current schedule is, but obviously if I'm struggling to play all the games that I like, you know, I think the most important thing for me is being able to keep to what I've committed to. There's always, you know, it's always nice to surprise people with something extra. So for instance, if I get a chance, I'd love to do some Industries of Titan on the weekend. I think it's less likely that I'll do that because I'm actually behind on a couple of projects. Some people were very kind and gave me some data to work with. And the scope of the projects have increased quite a bit, which as a whole I'm not that bothered by. But what I am bothered by is that my ability to kind of get the work done on the timelines that I was hoping has kind of fallen by the wayside. And I really like being able to follow through on commitments that I make. So overall, the projects will be better for it, and it's possible. I have a few things that I need to work out, but it's possible that there will be some insights that people find very helpful. But there's only so long that you can make those promises. You know, at some point you have to deliver. So, but I'll work with what I've got. So I don't think that was what kept me from... Oh yeah! I was trying to remember what kept me from... Well, that is a puzzle then. In fairness, I did forget that it was the this thing that was blocking me. So my guess at this point would be that there's somewhere down in Fog Canyon, and we're supposed to sort of go sort of down and to the left to get back up, but it does make me feel a little foolish for coming back here, but... Okay, so we will head right and then down to Fog Canyon. I will admit, it is also just kind of relaxing to be able to walk around the environments, then start off in the Coliseum, so maybe the Coliseum will be how I wrap up the evenings. The other thing that's nice about that is I have that really strong tendency to, to get stubborn. So the thing that's nice is if I know I'm heading to the Coliseum at the end, I also sort of know my limits as far as... Oops. I sort of know my limits as far as the whole, Oh, jeez, come on. This is just embarrassing now. I feel like I would have already been up here. Anyways, while I do have the tendency to get stubborn, I also think knowing that I'm going to go to the Coliseum at the end of the... I don't know why I keep doing that. I think knowing that I'm going to be going to the Coliseum might also give me that impulse to say, it's like I know I'm getting sort of at sort of the low end of my my energy, and as a consequence, I might be more willing to to cut it out on time. We'll see, though. I mean, one way or the other. All right, I'm very sure I've been here already. I just don't remember what I got. Hear me. One of the reasons I don't mind going over areas like this again is whenever I've sort of retraced my steps, I've tended to find secret areas that I haven't seen before. So it gives me just gives me a chance to sort of register and move on. I suppose there is you know, I do technically lose the time, but overall, I don't consider that a major. I don't consider that a major cost yet. If I get tired of the game, I might feel differently. But okay, so far as I can tell, there's no way to head up. By the way, one thing I really love about this game, like, this game is really beautiful and really well crafted. So I always get a bit amused whenever I see, if you just look at the vines that are hanging down, you can see actually a straight line. I'm assuming that that's I'm assuming that's not intentional. It's always kind of nice. The reason why I like that sort of stuff. Hey, Night Valiant, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I got a very late start, I'm afraid, but other than that, I'm managing quite decently. Okay. How are you doing? Your Yakuza playthroughs are actually making me realize how many games there are in that series. I have no idea. Like, I know you're playing Yakuza, but I have no idea what game you're playing, if that makes sense. You good? You had pizza. Yeah, I'm actually doing a bit better on the sleep front, which I think overall will be good, because I was talking about how I'm behind a little bit on some not like work. I'm a little behind on work, but that's neither here nor there. But there's a couple of things for some developers that I've been wanting to sort of wrap up. And like, the good news is that, like, it's nice to have the opportunity to see just lots of new and interesting stuff. But it does create this problem where, like, I'm usually okay at managing my my tendency to well, like, it's any creative thing, right? So if you're writing a story, or if you're writing a blog, or if you're making a game, you know, there's a lot of different ways that this manifests itself. But, like, it's so much fun to come up with ideas, and it's not always that fun to come up with implementations. And so, you know, I'm at this point where I've got a bit more material. Like, I'm generating a lot of stuff and a lot of ideas, and they are ones that I think will be good, and they're ones that I know I have the capability of pulling off. But it does carry with it a risk that, because some of these things I also think are more urgent and interesting questions. So, like, I guess the thing is, I don't want the tendency for me to come up with new stuff to be an excuse for me not, like, to not follow through on it. But on the other hand, I also want to be a little more disciplined in terms of actually, you know, in terms of actually producing stuff. Because I've noticed that the last little bit, I've been very long on saying I'll get stuff done, and I've been working on quite a bit. But I've been reflecting on just how much I've actually shown people. And I'm feeling a little self-conscious about how little I'm actually producing in terms of output. There's like 9 or 11 games, but I think only 7 ever made it to the West. It's confusing because the first and second Yakuza, for some reason, are called Kiwami. See, I'm actually a little curious. It feels like the last couple of months, and I'm sure this is because there's been like a new release. But it just feels like, in general, everyone's been playing them, which I think is cool. Like, I actually, you know, I like it when there's a trend, or when there's, you know, something quality is being recognized as such. But I am mildly curious as to what specifically what the catalyst for everybody, suddenly it's Yakuza time, and I'm kind of curious what's driven people to take up the series. Hey, Dozer Trouble, welcome back. Might have been playing the latest one, which they turned into a JRPG. Oh, maybe. I think, actually another streamer I really like, Kite260, has been playing Yakuza. So maybe I can find out from him why he's been... This Game Pass has all of them, so now's a great... Ah, okay, nope, that explains it. I am nowhere near as good at this. This is actually one thing that... So, I have a lot of opinions on games, as one who plays games tends to do. So, for instance, I am much more invested in Anthem's success than I thought I was. Like, I don't know what the status. The Bloomberg report was that sort of the fate of Anthem would be decided this week, and I don't believe there's been any follow-up news about the status of the project. And obviously I've written more than a couple of articles about EA. So the thing is that if I'm going to participate in that kinds of conversation, I feel like I should keep informed. Obviously you can't know everything, but I think being able to express something that's not just, repeating everyone's received wisdom, it's kind of helpful, particularly if you're going to write on something. But with that in mind, one thing that I am actually very self-conscious about is that as much as I would like to be otherwise, I actually do sometimes struggle to figure out what's going on as far as trends. And part of that is because I tend to have a... I like those guys. I tend to be very focused on what I find interesting, but the challenge is that I am sometimes short on the ability to find out why other people might find something interesting. So it took me a very long time to get into survival crafting games, for instance. And Total War, I'm now actually quite into. But it did take me a while to sort of appreciate the Total War series for what it was. And in that case, I'm a strategy gamer, so that's something that I really should like. But yeah, so I do consider it kind of a failing in terms of my my writing and my my ability to sort of participate in a dialogue on these things. I do kind of consider it a little bit of a failing that I'm not able to better identify, why certain trends are happening, why certain types of games are getting popular and other ones aren't. So, the Bloomberg through Jason Schreier through Bloomberg did a report. Apparently, there's supposed to be a meeting this week to determine the status of the project. So there's sort of been this core team. Everybody sort of knows now that there's been a core team that has been working on sort of improving Anthem. And I think at this point it is hitting the milestone of, are we willing to dedicate resources to revitalize this game, or has the team sort of failed to deliver on its promise and it is not worth putting the effort in? There's actually I really did not like this article. There's a Forbes article where somebody's like, they should just kill Anthem. I don't know who's running the project. I'm like, that's not a really good reason. Like, there's a very good game. Anthem is actually very enjoyable on its own, I personally find. But, there is clearly a very good core for that game. And I really do feel that it is a game that can become very good. But that's not the question that BioWare or EA is faced with. What BioWare and EA is faced with is, given the resources that it will take to produce a very good game, should they do it on that, or should they do it on another property? We know there's a new Dragon Age, we know there's a new Mass Effect, but like in the end, these are some of the best designers in the world who are going to be working on something. And so if, it's very easy to say, I want to do X, I want to make this game. But if you say that the cost is some of the best designers in the world are going to be redirected from Project A to Project B, all of a sudden that is a very different prospect. So that's kind of where it comes down. But yeah, I've finally been getting into Total War, and Dozer Trouble says that you're a fan of survival crafting games. What made survival crafting work for me was when there were more games that had a good single player component to them. So Terraria I really enjoy, Subnautica I really enjoy. There were some parts of Conan Exiles I liked, although I think there were some technical glitches that prevented me from really being able to get into that with a friend of mine, Johnny Big Time. But yeah, it's again, I don't want to say that like this is a me thing. Actually, sorry, I don't want to spend too much time off of the. So where do you get that from, Night Valian? Because this is the biggest thing that I've noticed. There's a lot of opinions about that particular developer, and I will agree that there was a time, like there's the EA spouses time, but I have not actually seen a recent story about that. The claim that they crunch their people. When's the last time that you've gotten a report of crunch at an EA studio? Because I know Respawn doesn't. And Respawn is owned by EA. But yeah, so like I'm taking a look at the total top games by player counts. We've got this is on Steam. So Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Dota 2. That's pretty clear that those are going to be high up on Steam. So Valheim, survival crafting, Rust, survival crafting, the glorious Apex Legends. I'm so happy to see that doing well. Ark Survival Evolved. Let's limit it to the top 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. Okay. So the 20 are Terraria. I won't count Stardew Valley, although obviously that probably has a similar appeal. Ark Survival Evolved, Rust and Valheim. Okay, so 4, but still, I'm 20% of the. Wait, is that? Yeah, 20% of the top 20 is nothing to sneeze at. Valheim is really. I've not really heard of that until Johnny Big Time had looked at it. So could you give a specific source for that? I'm not actually seeing where. Oops. Go. Yeah, Cheech. I mean, the big challenge here is that it depends on specific projects. I will say for sure that has not always been true for that publisher. But there is also the difference between, like, for those of you who haven't read the article, one of the biggest things out of the article that I concluded, and I think there is support for this, is that EA is the publisher that, like, when you get the idea of, like, gaming YouTube and, sort of a lot of thought leaders, I hate that term, but are really ranting against a particular publisher, EA seemed to be the target. And I think there's a reason for that. I think it's because EA is also pretty much at the bleeding edge. So that means when they introduce live service models, or when they're doing new monetization strategies, they'll usually be the first one there. And then, of course, there's the things like the EA spouses, which was horrible, you know. You should never get to a workplace where, you know, where the spouses need to intervene to make sure that the timings are, you know, the timings are more acceptable. But the thing is that you can, you know, companies like people change over time. EA spouses did actually bring about change. Everyone, I've known a few people. I don't think I know anybody. No, sorry, that's not true. I do know people who work at EA now. All of the ones I've talked to are actually very happy working there. And then it'll usually be something like, well, that's Respawn, that's not EA. I'm like, well, last I checked, you know, Respawn was EA. And it's worth remembering the founders of that had actually left EA to partner with Activision. It was Activision that led to that really negative contract dispute. So, you know, the trick is it's never to be an apologist for EA, although I am actually very fond of them as a publisher. But I definitely think that there is a strong tendency for people to basically be recycling the kind of takes that you would see from, you know, very old YouTube videos. Most of the time when somebody does send me something on EA, it's a very, very old video. And I just think at the very least, if we're gonna, at least the standard that I hold to myself is that if I'm gonna write on it particularly, I want to make sure that I either have some kind of a source that I can cite, or that I've had some kind of reflective moment and thought about what's going on. So what's the last... Okay, yeah, so I mean, like, I really did not want this to be relitigating all the old EA stuff. I highly recommend, if you've not read the article, I do think you guys probably should read it, because a lot of this stuff is already addressed inside of it. But, like, even killing studios, like, what's the last beloved studio that EA got rid of? I know there was Visceral, which was shut down, but, I mean, even that's kind of old news now. And to a certain extent, I think that's also because of there's sort of a failure to deliver in terms of the projects that they had been working on. I think there was, what was it? It was that canceled Star Wars game, if I remember. See, that's the thing. I don't really think... Well, that wasn't killed. That was folded into EA Motive. I mean, EA Motive wound up making... EA Motive wound up making Star Wars Squadrons. So as an independent entity, I suppose. But like, so far as I don't really know if that's quite the same as, you know, what they did with, say, Bullfrog or Visceral. Yeah, I don't even know if it's long memory. I mean, I just think, like, to a certain extent, it's the thing, you know, it's an article of faith, right? Like, you know, people can hate on EA while simultaneously, like, playing and loving their games. And, I mean, to a certain extent, right? They keep printing money, so it's working for them. There we go. I was a little too nervous about those mushroom guys there. But even then, right? Like, so if you really like sports games, I think probably the loot box complaint is maybe a little bit more, has a little bit more teeth. But like, everybody kind of points to Battlefront 2, and the only lesson I really take away from Battlefront 2 is that consumers complained, EA listened, and the game was better for it. Oops. As an aside, I also think we can't get enough of loot boxes. I mean, if we go back to the, the top games, there's a reason. Like, it's very sorry, I am gonna do this. So, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, I believe, still has loot boxes. Dota 2, I don't believe has those anymore. Apex Legends, do they? Team Fortress 2 still does. I don't know about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Destiny 2. The thing to keep in mind about the Battle Royale games is that they definitely, like, given how much of that game is based around the idea of opening chests and, like, getting the item you're going to use inside of that, like, that is an example of the thing that's really interesting about the criticism is, the question to me is it about the fact that there's real money being spent that suddenly makes it the line? Because if it's about building behaviors and patterns, then we should be equally worried about games like Diablo, Destiny 2, The Division 2, well, The Division 1 as well. Rainbow Six Siege, that's another one. Grand Theft Auto 5. Or no, they don't have loot boxes. They just have lots of paid microtransactions. I don't think Rocket League does. But yeah, there's actually probably more Path of Exile, I think, just does microtransactions again. And then Dead by Daylight doesn't do paid loot boxes, but they do have a similar mechanic for like the items that you pick up. But what's interesting about that one, right, is when you talk about the behavioral side. So is it that, it potentially promotes gambling, at which point we're more worried about the effects that it has on people. And then we should be worried about games that, even if there's not money on the line, we should be worried about the effects that it has on them. And if it's just a question in terms of money, then it's like, to a certain extent, I'm sympathetic to it. But I do tend to notice that the conversation quickly devolves to, bad monetization strategies are the things that I personally don't like, and the games that I enjoy have good ones. So, like, there's on Gamasutra, there's this guy called Raman, I think Shokrazad, who commented a lot, and he would always go on about how bad loot boxes were, and then talk about how good Pokemon Go was. And apparently Pokemon Go has them. That is a nail. How you doing, Talwyn Mossthorn? I think this is a fine... Well, it's the Fungal Grove, so it's not quite Green Path, but I think it works. Pale Worm, what good to foresee a demise unavoidable? Hello. It's also worth mentioning that all of these examples of loot boxes have not been EA titles. Okay. So I guess, if I'm not mistaken, I should still check the fungal wastes, but or near the fungal waste. But I believe that actually takes care of everything I wanted to check out on that side. Only complaint about Fortnite is that they stopped developing the Horde mode game. Oh, did they just straight up, like, terminate it? I was under the impression that, like, didn't they, I think, wasn't there recently a decision that said, you know, the original plan was for it to be free to play, but basically the Horde mode game is now a paid feature, and the Battle Royale is the free to play game. Is that? I'm getting conflicting views in chat. Alright, I'm gonna have to check this for myself. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you can still buy, but I suspect, as Talwin's was saying, that's a very... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so far as I can tell, yeah, this is a... I think it's done is probably what we're trying to say here. Which is fair. I mean, like, this is the thing, right? I actually got to be on the... there was like a call that they gave for alphas on it, but you couldn't stream it, so whenever I'm given an opportunity to participate in something like that, I just don't say anything because, you know, if people don't know that you're in something that you're not supposed to be talking about, then you're not going to have the temptations. It didn't, like, it was diverting, but it didn't really do it for me. So that's why I ultimately wound up passing the Battle Royale. As it turns out, I'm not really one for Battle Royales. If I were to play one, I'd probably wind up doing Apex Legends, just because I really like Titanfall 2. But, oh, nuts. Oops. I'm getting careless. Okay. Can I? Yeah. I'm sure there's a more direct, like a proper way to get there, but at this point, I'm really just trying to close in the gaps. Nuts. Actually, here's a question I haven't asked people in a while. I'm sorry, this is going to sound like one of those, you know, streamers who's really bad at getting engagement and so is trying to relate to people questions. But I am curious about this because Valheim seemed to come out of nowhere for me. Corpse of Mossy Vagabond, Overcome with Infection. What are some new games that are on people's radars? Because I feel like there's been a bunch of stuff that's come out. I mean, so it's, you know, we're now a month into... Sorry, we've had a full month of 2021. We're about halfway through the second. Hitman 3, I think, is like the first major release. But I'm actually really not that sure about what's on offer. I know there's a lot of expansions to stuff. There's, you know, Apex Legends new season, for instance. But I'm out of the loop. What's fun? What should I know about? Tell me what I should have an opinion on. Okay, something to the left at the near the Forgotten Crossroads. It's going to be a bit of a walk. Oh, good point, Tall and Mossthorn. See, I actually kind of like that they give you access to the old expansions, or at least they used to. And I know that's what the WoW of Warcraft did as well. But I will admit that one of the things that has happened for me with Elder Scrolls Online is because I know... Well, first of all, I really am not that good with MMOs unless I have regular people to play with. And the fact of the matter is like everybody's busy, right? There's lots of stuff I'd really like to play with multiple people. Vermintide is another great example of a game I'd like to play more with people. And if the people are busy, it's unreasonable to expect people to kind of be... honestly, games are fun, right? So if ever it feels like it's a job, you're doing it wrong. But it does create some problem. I used to really like MechWarrior Online. I put some decent money into MechWarrior Online, actually. If you guys want to talk about aggressive monetization strategies, look at MechWarrior Online. They do not give you a lot. Still, I quite like it. Also a Canadian game. Although I think they just recently got bought by a Swedish publisher. So, but yeah, I not just enjoyed MechWarrior Online, but really wanted to put some effort into sort of getting better and seeing if there was a way I could maybe get a little lance together or something like that. But again, the challenge is that if you don't have a group of people who are in sort of the same time zone, and I don't think having the same skill level is necessarily as important, but at least having the same sort of, rough commitment to interesting. Oops. Nuts. But yeah, so if you don't have someone, the question really is, are you going to put the time in to become better? Because you can really enjoy games like that on your own without, wanting to become a new world champion. But obviously, if your purpose in getting a lance together is to, man, I'm really messing that up. There we go. Just a Wanderer's Journal, though. If your intention is to sort of put something a little more serious together, it's not so important that everybody start at the same skill level, but obviously you want to make sure that everybody has roughly the same commitment towards getting better. Otherwise, there's probably going to be a certain degree of frustration. Mass Effect Remaster is the next thing. That's March, isn't it? Or is it April? I'm really looking forward to that. I do suspect that people are probably going to talk about how it's not good, because I think they're wanting something that looks like I think what people really want in the back of their head, especially with that Frostbite logo, is basically something that has the graphical fidelity of Anthem, but is otherwise the exact same Mass Effect game. And I think what we're going to get is a wonderful remaster of Mass Effect, and it is going to be, a remaster of a game that was made quite a while ago, and so is going to, is not going to have the same look. as what we expect from modern games. So I think that's going to be a shame, but I'm optimistic for it. I definitely think that's going to be very enjoyable. I got to figure out what the hell is going on with this. So I don't think being able to double jump helps me out in that. I think I got to do something to either not have that... Oops. Got to find a way to drain that, or... Oops. Does Silksong... I don't think Silksong has a release date yet, does it? I'll admit, too, another thing that probably doesn't get as much attention, but I feel like it should, is the fact that it's actually kind of hard to get the, you know, the full Mass Effect experience. You know, I have the EA Access, or sorry, EA Play subscription. It's like my favorite thing in the world. I am very tempted by the Xbox Game Pass, but I don't know. Like I signed up for the EA Play Pro, and like I've not looked back. Like I will probably never buy another EA game, because why would I? I can just rent the best one. I mean, I'm sure if they were to raise the price a whole lot, I'd probably reconsider. But I'm a huge fan of that program. But they don't even pay me to say that. But you know, even though I have, so like I should basically have kind of the most ideal way of experiencing Mass Effect right now. And it still actually requires a little bit of messing around. Like, it took some comments from chat. I think Mad King Brutos was someone to sort of help me out in terms of the different DLC that was available. So I think just being able to get the Legendary Edition and say that I am going to sit down and play Mass Effect, and I'm not going to worry about what, you know, people's opinions are about the, you know, the best way to play Mass Effect, or like what the, you know, what the most important DLC to play is. Just to be able to kind of have a single experience that is, you know, this is Mass Effect for me now, is good. Although I think it was Brutos to point out that apparently it's single player only. I know he was really looking forward to a multiplayer component. I actually, on that note, I am kind of curious how they're going to handle some of the other. Like, there was a whole bunch of extra stuff that you could do in Mass Effect 3 that was online. Okay, so unless there's something crazy in the bottom right of Deep Nest... Actually, the first thing I need to do right now is find a bench to sit at. I wonder if the hot springs are still open. This should give me a better idea about what I'm up against. Did it really add anything though? So I'm trying to remember what I couldn't get. Right, okay. So in the fungal left, at the top of the fungal wastes to the left, I can't get through that because it's the mysterious, sort of like the mysterious block. Queen Station to the left is that fog area. I can't make progress there because of the dark barriers. Deep Nest, technically I don't know what's blocking me in the bottom right there, so that would be a candidate for investigation. I feel like I've kind of done the City of Tears to death, but that seems, particularly in that area just before King's Station, that seems right for double jump. Crystal Peak looks like there's a higher area there, and there might be something at Kingdom's Edge. So let's try and get to King's Station. I think if I go to the Forgotten... if I go to the Stagway near the Forgotten Crossroads, we should be good there. Oh yeah, sorry, we were talking about Elder Scrolls Online. But yeah, so I've actually not bought the expansions for it just because I don't really have people to play Elder Scrolls Online with. And I actually find the game's enjoyable enough as sort of a single-player experience that I can handle that. But given that I don't feel any urgency to like get through the game, I've also not felt the urgency to sort of get the expansion, which is a shame because like obviously that really means the only way I've shown it support is through buying the game once and then moving on. Then again, I guess I did the same thing with Secret World, so. The game has been great so far, but you're not feeling the current area you've been questing in. You also feel like you need to do that bit of content before the next DLC. Say good opportunity to do so now. They're 67% off at the moment. But again, doesn't it work that like when the new DLC is out, you just get that content? Or am I mistaken? You're right. I mean, with the new Lunar New Year sale, there are some good deals on. I got one DLC for Total War Warhammer 2, which is ridiculous because I've completed one Total War Warhammer 1 campaign. Oh, I also did the Beastman one. But yeah, like there is so much in Total War, like the core game of Total War Warhammer 2 that I really do not need to be buying DLC. And then I also got the Solitaire Conspiracy, which I will admit, so it's Zachtronics that put me down on this this horrible path, but I'm actually learning how interesting Solitaire is. Excuse me. Basically, I have 3 or 4 stages how their big DLC work. First, it's released as a thing that you buy for real money standalone, then you can buy it in-game for their premium currency. Ah, I see. Thank you, Nivalian. Oh, that's right. I forgot. So this whole area has been corrupted now, so it's hard for me to remember how to get certain places. I should probably sort that out for myself now, because I know I'm gonna have to deal with it eventually. Okay, so there's no path for me to go up there. Okay, that makes sense. So here's an interesting credit you guys may not have noticed. This is one of my so if you don't do that, I'm one of these weirdos who likes watching the credits in movies. But it's actually fun to do for games as well. And this is why I would encourage you to do this, is that you will find some very interesting credits. Like, if you get in the habit of doing this, you are going to see some really interesting connections that you never would have guessed. So, for instance, I believe... I don't know if it's a lead designer or if it's just a designer. Anyways, there's somebody on Apex Legends who was a tester on the old robot fighting game, One Must Fall 2097. Ananda Gupta of XCOM Enemy Within fame, also Twilight Struggle if you like board games, I believe, I don't know if he worked on Legends of Runeterra, but I know he's currently at Riot. He was on Elder Scrolls Online before I think he wound up working for Firaxis. I'm not 100% sure what the background was. That one, I need to admit, I did not know that one from seeing the credits. That one I actually knew from the Designer Notes podcast with Soren Johnson. But my favorite credit that I found through this habit is Sid Meier's Railroads. So I think this was kind of the Firaxis reimagining of Railroad Tycoon 2. And there is a credit for a programmer on it named Jake Solomon, who of course would later go on to be lead on XCOM. It's going to be an example of something wild like Michael Kirkbride writing for Minecraft. No, okay, so who's Michael Kirkbride. Who's Michael Kirkbride? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. I'm really far off. Oops. Oh, I remember. So if I wanted my next tough fight, it's here. I think I've already done this. Good lord. Kirkbride, also known as the guy who wrote all the metaphysical stuff and most of Morrowind, all metaphysical stuff for... Oh, neat! Yeah, sorry, Tal. I've actually... So this is one of the rare cases. Because I do those Elder Scrolls streams on... like pre-recorded and voiced. I'm not as good at doing the credits on stream. And so as a consequence, I actually tend to miss that sort of stuff. I've seen very few of the credits to the Elder Scrolls games. I'm quite sorry to admit. I should probably go back and see that sort of stuff. This is the area I was thinking of. This isn't where I want to be right now, though. Did I ever mention that this goop is incredibly inconvenient? Ah, okay, here we go. So, his Reddit history is wild because these days it's a 50-50 split between Warhammer painting and revealing cool ideas they didn't use in the Elder Scrolls. That's really neat. I gotta be very careful I don't die on my way to the challenge. Whoa! Yeah, some people who, you know, don't have like a secret Reddit account are really neat. So like Mike Pondsmith of Cyberpunk fame does, you know, sort of speaks for himself on it. And I was, you know, I didn't, so like there's a, you know, there's that old saying, you know, don't meet your hero. You know, it's not like I'd say, you know, he's necessarily a hero or anything like that, but I've always sort of felt that I shouldn't go too far down those rabbit holes because I'm sure I'm just going to discover something that makes me, you know, makes me sad that I did. But I was really encouraged. There was an earlier post that he'd put out, and there was someone, like somebody had sort of talked about how they wanted to write. And there was like a bunch of people, you know, too cool for school. They're kind of crapping on the guy's ideas. And Pondsmith actually took the time and told them to get to work, and that they fully expected to see something that they'd made. And I really like that because it's, you know, I've actually been reading the Ron Johnson book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed, lately, and it's obviously really easy to pile on nowadays. But there's something really, particularly in the case of somebody who sort of has some weight in terms of, like, so if you're on a cyberpunk forum, probably you care about the views of the person who made the cyberpunk RPG, and the fact that you know, while everybody's piling on, that author's able to sort of take their influence and be able to turn it something good, I think is encouraging. Oops. Okay, I gotta remember this fight again. That was a disaster. It started off okay, but so you'll notice there's a couple of things I'm doing differently here. One is I've pretty much abandoned any hope of getting some meaningful healing in. So I've gone for basically speed and damage, and it means that... Oops. Trap. Okay, encouraging. Oh, I just blew that. I'm pretty sure this is the death of the run. Speaking of Cyberpunk, nothing really came out of that ransomware attack that they suffered. So there was... I'm sure this is probably just people putting on their tinfoil hats. But somebody had suggested that it was a publicity stunt, although somebody did also point out that even former CDPR employees were being contacted about privacy considerations. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, you know, a big developer's been hit by something like that. I think Valve had some source code leaked. Yeah, I don't really know... I didn't really hear much. I mean, it's a little bit like the Anthem thing. It was a fairly big news story, and then nothing seemed to come of it. Ah. Nuts. Not enough health. You have been epically pwned. You're... Oh, that sucks. Ah! Whew. I'm gonna feel really bad about this, I think. I wanted it, the strength to protect the others. When I saw that knight sleeping, safe in his big armored shell, it wasn't madness that drove me to it. I just wanted it. But in the end, if strength cannot save you, then what can? Damn it, game! I just want to send something to Sin. Let me just make sure. I can never remember how the dream nail stuff works. Nope. Yep, okay, that makes sense. We did in fact get to see all of the dialogue, so... So what I gotta do now is head back to the... I want to head back to the, sorry. I gotta head back to the bench just to make sure that I don't lose all my fragile bits. Mind you, Fragile Strength is a great charm. I don't know what happens to fragile stuff when it gets destroyed, so it does make me a little risk averse. I think was it Soul Catcher? I guess it was. So I think I said I was going to head to King Station, didn't I? So there's not much of a tramway to Deep Nest, at least the part that I want to go to. So at the very least, if I go to King Station, I can find out that there's not as much for me to do, and we can just move elsewhere. Making a very questionable decision to drink coffee during this stream. But I did say I've got some work to get through, so... I suppose I'll have some productivity. Okay. So yeah, I think in this case we'll just see if there's anything I can pick up at the... Oops. On the left side of the map. I was wondering if I could dodge that forever. This game sure likes reminding me that I need to use the double jump in this area. It was very peaceful to be in the City of Tears. That extra length on the nail really helps with the oops. Oopsies. So I did want to check out what was up there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. Oh, there we go. This is also a lot nicer than the Coliseum because I generally am able to win. So it's less ego shattering. Alright, what are we up to? I think it was It's Huge who said that you love Total War. One of you in chat said that you love Total War. If you're still kicking around, what is your favorite Total War? If it's different from your favorite Total War, what is the one I absolutely need to play? Yeah, let's leave it at that for now. I have a few other questions, but I think favorite and if it's different from your favorite, what is the must-play Total War? Shame on them for not letting me bounce on this guy's head. No! I deserve that. I really gotta stop doing that. I mean, if I was really ballsy, I could try parrying, but I gotta knock it off and heal up. Well, at least it doesn't do 2 damage with a... Oh, alright. I'm probably gonna have to take all of these on, aren't I? So healing opportunities are... Jesus! Alright. So I definitely need to get through that quickly. I probably should have had a slightly better showing than I did, but I'll at least get my souls back, and then I can decide whether I want to explore the rest of the area or take on the baddies. Come to me. Yeah, let's not be a baby about it. Oops. That was careless. Ugh. Okay, no healing opportunities there. Oh, Jesus. I thought it was a little higher than I actually was there. Oh, this fight. Okay. This is gonna... I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't have I don't have like 100% clear idea of how I'm gonna handle this one. I think I kind of want to check out the rest of the area before I do the fight again. That'll give me a chance to get a few souls too, which is kind of nice. Oops. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I've got a special attack that I can put some extra juice into. The mimics have gotten me well trained. Alright. I just want to get a proper read on what... Okay, I don't really have a lot of expectations for this one, but let's see what we can do. Ah. Good. Kidding me. The third was worth it. Okay, you guys gotta knock this off. Can't believe I got away with that heal. Yeah, it was worth a shot. That was not worth a shot. No! Alright. That was not a bad run. I still think I need to be a little more sensible. One thing I do need to do is stop trying to look for easy heals and just use magic a lot more aggressively, but that's kind of true of most of my encounters. There's something pure and simple about whacking some guy with a nail. Oops, that was a blunder. That was very foolish. Okay. Once I kind of committed to the second one, I knew I had to go all the way, otherwise I'd be at a net loss. Oh, I can't do 2 dashes. Okay, that's... Ooh, tough. That is not easy to keep track of. God damn it. Again, that was one that was shaping up to be something worthwhile, and then I kind of got inside my own head. The one thing, so what's really funny about the rolling attacks is that in isolation I wouldn't be worried about them, and yet for some reason, when I see more than one, I treat it as if it's something other than what it is. Oh yeah, I also need to be switching out my my charms. That'll help me. But I'm already on the way, so we'll... You guys have gotten awfully quiet all of a sudden. Oops. Okay, that was folly. Nice. This is getting ridiculous. All right. Oof. Again, I had to finish the heal, otherwise I'd take damage. That sucked. Oh man, I just threw this thing away in one just batch of idiocy. Hey, Prometheus, bouncing in rectangles, classic Metroidvania. I was literally about to say he's beginning to believe. Good time to come in, Prometheus. Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing tonight? So, I really should announce this stuff when I say it. Dark Souls, along with a few other games, I definitely have very strong views as to which one the run is. There's just a feeling. I think what it is. So like, it's obviously not some claim at precognition or something like that, but I do tend to know when I'm sort of in a bit of a flow state. And I tend to have very strong intuitions about which one is the run. So if I really believed in that ability, I should say, you know, this is the run each time. But that was one. And it's funny because like I'll get frustrated with myself about doing screw ups, but they're not the ones that will necessarily kill the run. But the real indicator is usually when I go very quiet, but I can go quiet for other reasons too, so that's never a good indicator. Another Hollowness seal. All right. Oh, really? No, for me, it's definitely there's just generally kind of a bit of a calm that comes over it. It's like, yeah, I've got this. And it's just kind of a formality in terms of actually, I guess, implementing the solution. But then there's other times where I know, you know, I basically feel like I'm doing the gestures, I know what I need to do, but I haven't quite made the link between the actions and the... I should be... Man, there's so much else for me to check out, though. A sleeping figure lays atop the stone plinth. Well, hello there. For King Beloved. To sleep, to serve. Bonds must remain. Remain. It's a Goonies reference, Prometheus? I don't get to... There we go. Nice view. Oh, now I've gone and done it. I'm gonna stab myself if I... Aha! Sleep beckons eternal, and these words become my last. Though my gaze shall no longer fall upon this city, I will act forever in its protection. For king, for bug, for hollowness, I head now to my rest. Oops. Oh. I don't know if Goonies counts as refined, but I don't know. There was a while where I could have said I'd kind of seen everything. See, now that I know there's secrets, I'm gonna have to do this to all of them. Nuts. But like, even if I wasn't sort of out of the habit, I just think between all the streaming services, it's impossible to have seen everything now. Which is why so many of my references are out of date. Like, even when we were doing the Exile run, as it is, the designers talked about specifically a Netflix series that was an inspiration for it. And I'd not even heard of it because I don't have Netflix. I actually don't have any plans on getting Netflix. I mean, there's a cost to that, right? There's a lot of references, and there's a lot of stuff that's really inspiring people that's coming out of these services, and I'm cut off from it. Although there is something very charming about me failing to to identify dick jokes when they come up in my channel. The meanest things they could have done would be to cause those enemies to respawn on your way back. Right, we already went here, so that's fine. I'm sure probably when I sit down at a bench next, I'll have a good read on whether or not I've checked out everything I need to. Ah, okay. This makes some sense. So, barring something on the roof in the City of Tears, I've sort of, I think I've seen what I need to there. I think I've earned myself, we're about 2 hours in, I think I've earned myself a little time in the Coliseum of Fools. I don't have any huge expectations about what we're going to do there, but I'm feeling like at least my most egregious errors will be behind me now. I'm also trying to recall if I get anything for taking out the Dreamers, or if it's if it just sort of unlocks paths. I think it just unlocks stuff. I started off pretty well on the Coliseum of Fools, but the third phase has definitely been giving me a run for my money. I suppose the one difference now is I have the double jump, but I'm not entirely sure. It's it's a little bit like when I was saying, oh, I should change my charms. I should change my charms to get to the, or to, for these bosses. Like, the fact of the matter is, it's not because I don't have, certain charms that's causing me to lose. Like, in the end, have I been here? Yes. Oh, I remember this area. I think I'm gonna head back here, actually. Coliseum is where you went on a hiatus for the game. Yeah, so the third challenge is definitely character building. It doesn't seem to be like there doesn't seem to be anything that you have to do in it. The excuse, oh, it's not a complete game yet. I'll wait. Wait, was this in an early access period? Okay, I really got to figure out what's going on with the boiling water. There's either a way to make it safe, or there's a way to drain it, and I need to figure either one of them out. It became personal far too quickly. What am I missing here? I was clearly able to get up here before. Unless something's changed. Wasn't what I was looking to do. Yeah, that's... I'm just not sure what the other angles are, though. So if I head up here... This seems to be a dead end. And there's a side of me... Oh, hang on. Did I do something clever like... Maybe I did that? Well, no, that doesn't get me anything, though. So clearly, I have missed something. One big one for me right now is just trying to remember how I got to some of the places before. A really important factor for me has been trying to retrace my steps, because that's usually been the best way that I find either secret passages or areas that have like areas that I was blocked by in terms of not having a particular ability. Plus, it's also just kind of interesting to explore, being able to... Oops. So I recall that I used to think that this was a way that I could get to the Coliseum, but it didn't deliver. Well, but that just invites another question then. Okay. Did I really go all the way down from... Well, no, because that doesn't make sense. If I did that, sorry, I realize I'm not speaking complete sentences to people. It's just the game's map isn't always the easiest thing to... If I had a mouse, I could sort of point to what I'm thinking of. So what I think I'm going to do here... Hey, the Eyes of Sin, how you doing? I got to see... Well, you probably saw the message, but... I got through the Strength Dream. The fail, I think it was called Failed Champion. I took out the mask with one eye, the Watcher. And I'm probably going to be spending some time on the Coliseum of Fools, which is probably not the thing that you're the most exciting. Oops. But I'll have the journey towards it. For those of you who don't know her, the Eyes of Sin is a very talented artist. Actually, I got a wonderful compliment today. There was a... somebody said... As a streamer... Actually, I can mention the streamer. Starbright Knight. Very kindly suggested... Or said, you know, could you make sure that you don't get rid of System 1 HMM... I'm actually using it while I play, was it Marbles on stream? I can't remember. Which reminds me, I completely forgot that Starbright Knight is a streamer. And so Starbright Knight's been in the channel a couple of times. I've done a very poor job of shouting them out. But I think... Obviously, this is a great example of the great work that the Eyes of Sin has done on the emotes. If you would like emotes like this, or even better, you can check out her Coffee page. Do check it out. If nothing else, just check it out for the gallery. The Eyes of Sin is a talented artist. I know she's been doing a couple of challenges recently. I don't know if those will wind up in the gallery, but she definitely... I don't know. I get a lot out of watching them for sure. But she's also available for commissions on Twitter. So if you go to twitter.com/eyesofsin, if you just like the art, you can check out the Coffee page and the Tumblr. I do encourage you to support her if you can, because it is not easy making a living doing this stuff, and I have definitely been very enriched by her work. But even if you can't, because obviously not everybody's in the same circumstances, I definitely still encourage you to check it out. Share it with someone if you'd like. And in addition to the fact that I'm just very fond of the emotes that she made, I got this wonderful news today of somebody who has sort of let one of those emotes kind of become a bit of a staple to their own broadcast. So it's one of these cases. You know, it's all well and good for me to say, well, my own emotes are awesome because why wouldn't they be, right? But to have somebody external talk about how much they enjoy the work, that felt really good. I've also realized I did not share that with you until just now. Oh, not at all, Eyes of Sin. You know I like your stuff. Eyes of Sin also, for those of you who are enjoying the Hollow Knight run, I noticed that the the YouTube viewership for it sort of leveled out. But I think that's fair too, because I've probably spent something like 7 hours specifically on the Coliseum of Fools. So you know, there's only so much you can tolerate for that. Oops. But the Eyes of Sin is in fact the main reason why I'm doing Hollow Knight. She was very encouraging, gently prodding me towards, towards taking on the game. And I certainly took my time getting to it, but she did eventually break me. And I really am enjoying the experience of going through the game. Although I'm utterly perplexed as to how to handle the darkness. I mean, one of the visuals that I would take from the game would be the fact that the black mask, or the fact that there's a black mask, and so taking that out might be removing those barriers. But your guess is as good as mine. How are you doing tonight, by the way, Sim? I'm gonna guess you probably didn't get a chance for a supplemental grocery shop or vinegar shop, but I took a look at the temperature out, and there is no possible... I wanted to go out and return a library book, but I don't think risking my life is worth it for a library. But that's okay. Risking my life is probably a little strong, but it's cold. Oh yeah, okay, we're in the same boat. So I'm pretty sure I should be able to climb up to the... to a higher level here, yeah. Hello. Journal. Oh, and a seat. Okay, so there's something to the right for us. It's the fact that it got quiet here that made me a little suspicious of it. Hello, milady. So you'd pursue the deeper truth. It isn't one the weak could bear. Oh! Round two? Prove yourself ready to face it. I'll not hold back. My needle is lethal, and I'd feel no sadness in a weakling's demise. Show me you can accept this kingdom's past and claim responsibility for its future. Oh, come on! I probably should have used that to heal. Whoa! Hello! This is no different than a fight that I did perfectly well on my own. That's embarrassing. I deserve that. Yeah, so it's no different than a fight that I had done perfectly well, and I just went to pieces as soon as they introduced the barbs. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so I'm down the... Oh, you know what? The lack of charms is not the reason why I lost that, but I can at least make life a little easier for myself. Wait, so if I've got 2 available... Oh, that's right, I've also got some reading to do. Why can I not remember my... Speed's not the worst thing I could get, I suppose. Ah. Oof. I can use those to hit her. Well, presumably. Sneaky. I deserve that. I really love her movements. Oh. Brutal. So strong. You could do it if you had the will. But could you raise your nail once knowing its tragic conception and knowing yourself? Then do it, Ghost of Hollownest. Head onward, burn that mark upon your shell, and claim yourself as king. King's Brand. Hollownest shall recognize a new ruler. The kingdom's gates will open. Damn it, game. Hey. So, guess it's time for the Coliseum of Fools. Terrible! Okay. Oh, actually, there's another thing I was meaning to do. I'll try and get to a safer place before... Oh, you know what? I'll do it when I get to the Coliseum. When it comes to aspids, the only way to win is not to play. So sadly, I lose all of this when I sit at the bench. There's no way. I mean, if I want to go into the Coliseum like this, I can, but it just means that I'm going to have a really long trip ahead of me. Ah. Hello there. Tiny thing, you climb high. Seek then knowledge of these lands? This ashen place is grave of worm. Once told, it came to die. But what is death for that ancient being? More transformation, methinks. This failed kingdom is a product of the being spawned from that event. One prefers its mind not be pride. It is rather unsettling, rather invasive. Oh, that's cool. So this person recognizes what I'm doing. Is it bothering you about my tail? Rest is somewhat disturbed, but I find that sensation not unpleasant. Tiny thing. Oh, the mark of the worm you bear. Is it change you seek, or to save this ruin? That choice is yours. Always the smallest creatures that attempts the largest things. This falling ash is molt, the worm's corpse decaying, endless. Serene, sad. With its light gone, the world is smaller. Don't mistake, I am not a worm. Or too small I am, too many limbs, no foresight like those old things. For quiet retreat did I climb up here, away from spitting creatures. Oh, yes, high up, away from simple minds, lost to light. Theirs is a different kind of unity, rejection of the worm's attempt at order. I resist the light's allure, union it may offer, but also a mind bereft of thought. To instinct alone, a bug is reduced. Be on your way, then. It's rest I'll return to, though in these times sleep oft proves uneasy. Oh my god! Yes, I don't think I've ever met anybody who likes those ones. All right, so I'm curious how I got to this guy's tail before. Just making sure there isn't anything special that I'm missing out on. Oopsies. Now that you think about it, this whole climb was a warning sign. So for sorry, we were talking about sort of leaving Hollow Knight, never getting back to it. So is it is it still that that Coliseum of Fools is the unofficial ending to Hollow Knight for you? Ah, okay. Cool. All right, again, no expectations in the Coliseum of Fools, but it's a chance to see if we've learned anything. Welcome back, warrior. To enter a trial, step over to the board and place your mark. From that point on, your destiny is your own. Yeah, I've learned the lesson about derusting in the Coliseum. It's a good way to convince yourself that you don't know anything about the game. Ugh. So much health lost. Unbelievable. That was a rough start, but... Oh, come on! Oof. Remembering at least part of it. From downtown. Ah. I don't know what I thought I was doing there. I gotta remember I can't handle two. Oh, Jesus, that's gonna be bad. That aspen. So much health. I deserved that. Why? It's just my excuse to get a little healing in. That was dumb. Right, I thought it was these guys. Ah! I gotta remember I want to conserve health on these because there's a couple of phases where there's not a lot I can do. I did not appreciate that cheeky dodge he gave at all. Ugh. At least he's down. So I want to heal before I do anything else, because I've got, what am I doing? I've got the swordsman up. After. Ugh. Oh, gross. That was really bad timing on my part, but we can make this work. Let's not get careless. We're doing okay so far. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, come on. That is really disappointing that that was the thing that I took myself out on. I want to see if the Dash Master does anything for me. A lot different in what way from Atheus? I don't think the Dash Master is what I need here, but I wanna try some variety. What am I doing? Okay, I need to get my senses back. Yeah, those dashes are really helping me. Come on! Whoa! Where did that come from? I didn't even know I could dive down. Oh, I guess that's what Dash Master gives me. I keep forgetting to do the thing I was meaning to do in the basement as well, which is to finally read some of these entries, but the more enemies I take out here, the more entries I'll get. very good at doubling my damage for absolutely no reason. I really need to kill the Dash Master, because that thing is that's gonna be the end of me. Keep forgetting about these guys. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Again! They're out of sync. This is gonna hurt. That almost killed me. Ah, I hate getting hit by his stuff. I've really gotten used to having the double jump now. It really screws me up on the... Unbelievable. Okay, so I can... Oh, that's right, we got... Oh, this is so dangerous. Yeah, that is absolutely worth it. Ah, Jesus, I keep timing this wrong. I want to try and extract as much health as I can out of this segment. Ah, really? Alright, this is going to be hard. Okay, less difficult now. Unbelievable. Well, that was a mistake. Sloppy, but it worked. Ah. That's disappointing. So first thing I'm axing is the Dash Master Charm. That thing is a liability. I don't know, let's just go with we'll go with the classics. And I'm noticing I'm getting close to the 3-hour mark here, so I might make this the sort of the finale for the night. I'm not sure if there's 15. Like, if I take 15 minutes now, I'm not 100% sure I'm really going to get anywhere meaningful. But I feel like we made some decent progress in the game. Oh. That's all about getting a couple of extra soul hits in. I know the helmets are up next, so it's not as big of a deal, but... Ah, I was back to my old form with that. But my true form is the one that makes mistakes. Really got to get used to that double jump. All right, sorcerers, I think. Nope. Wow, I screwed that up. That worked a lot better in my head. Unbelievable. I gotta pick a target, otherwise I'm gonna get ripped apart. So if I don't kill these guys in a timely fashion, I miss all those nice opportunities to heal. Oh, I'm screwed. I'm letting the sorcerer stay alive way too long for this bit. God. Okay, that could have been worse. I'm looking forward to seeing me eventually beat this too, Eyes of Sin. Assuming I do. Ugh. So it just occurred to me there's a sneaky way that I can get some extra health out of this. There we go. Okay, that was careless, but that was especially careless. Ooh. Ouch. Okay, this is a hard spot, but not impossible. If I just let myself slide down, I would have got it. Yeah, so there's some careless mistakes that I made a little earlier there. Oops. What am I doing? Not quite sure what I thought I was going to accomplish with that, but there you go. As I'm getting a little more disciplined at avoiding the hits. Although it's during the spike part that's obviously the real worry. Keep forgetting that I have that as an option. Damn it. I should also figure out whether or not I get an equivalent amount of souls from a heavy hit like that, because I suspect there are trade-offs I should be considering. Okay, that didn't seem to do what I wanted. Ah, oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus. That was a little bit better than last time. Yeah, I'm really not sure how I feel about the heavy attack if I'm on it. Like, I want to like it a lot more than I actually do. Maybe against the sorcerers. No! Oh, that worked out really well. I thought that would have been enough to take out that. Ah, this is going to be tough. I forgot there's a way for me to... Nope, not healing up now. Wow. I gotta remember that trick. little arrogant there. I had a good rhythm going. Keep it together. Ow. That's a pity. Okay, so I'm at the 3-hour mark. That is the furthest I've gone tonight, but I think I'll make this the last one unless I'm really feeling it afterwards. Like I feel like this is a validation of the choice to do the Coliseum of Fools later on in the game. Or not later on in the game, later on in the session, because I feel like so much of the Coliseum is me just getting familiar with stuff again. And this has been a nice little cap to the evening, as opposed to sort of feeling like I'm putting it all on the line. Oop. But yeah, there can be a little bit of a feeling like the stream is lost if I don't make any progress on the Coliseum of Fools. And if like the first couple of hours is spent refamiliarizing myself with sort of like the feel of the game. Wow, I wasn't paying attention at all. Then, like the first few rounds are going to be, like they're kind of a write-off. But they are also going to sort of drain me a little bit in terms of just energy, attention, and so on, so... Oops. The amount of health on these things is definitely a tricky part. I've gotten to the silly point of the evening. Wow, I almost really screwed that up. Okay, I'm not sure bringing that many aspids onto the field was quite the done thing, but... Ugh. Thought I had the parry down. Oh, that's right. I can't take on two at once like that. Nuts. Ah! Well, I mean, the good news is I don't have the mantis to worry about. I'm learning a couple of tricks on managing some of these intermediate guys. They're not like a major difficulty for me, but it's nice to have a couple more tricks in the back pocket. These guys are really starting to annoy me. Oh, come on. I wouldn't be able to heal in the next section anyway. Ooh, I walked right into that. Jesus Christ. Deserved that. Oh, I need to learn how to dodge those attacks, especially because I'm letting them live longer during the intermediate phases. This is gonna suck. That's not as bad as I thought. Oh, that worked really well. Cool. Still worth it. Damn. Unbelievable. Jesus. Okay, we'll do the trick again. I mean, it's not the best trick, but it is a semi-reliable way to get some health in it. Does rely on me not missing important hits, though. Ugh, I hit the wrong button. That was reckless. It still worked, though. Jesus. See if I can pull this off. Yep. I am happy that I'm somewhat regularly hitting sort of the aerial part, because I know it used to be that that was never really guaranteed. The problem is that I still kind of fall apart on it, so we'll see how much we can improve here. Oh. Okay, that was a lot of really stupidly lost health. Ooh. That's careless. That's a pity. I think I'm gonna call it there, though. I'll get my soul. Actually, tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my souls back, but also to or Geo back rather. But also to avoid the temptation of jumping back into the Coliseum at the start of the next stream, let's go find a new section for me to play around a bit with. And, more importantly, we've got the journal to go through. So, I don't know if the False Knight and the Maggot got anything new, but we'll just make sure here. So False Knight, a Maggot driven mad by strange force, inhabits a stolen armored shell. Weak creatures love to steal the strength of others. Their lives are brief and fearful, and they yearn to have the power to dominate those who have dominated them. Maggot, weakest members of the Kingdom of Hollowness, generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. Consisting mainly of sweet fat, these helpless creatures make excellent provisions for long journeys, best roasted over open flame. If they try to bargain for their life, just ignore them. They have nothing to offer. Okay. I could have sworn we had new entries. Oh, here we go. Light Seed. Single-celled organism, completely infected, scurries about simple-mindedly. Strange air has been seeping down from above for years. Some of that air became liquid, and some of that liquid became flesh, and some of that flesh came to life. I don't know what to make of it. Infected balloon. Single-cell infection, has simple mind and can float using internal gases. Broken vessel, shattered corpse, reanimated by infected parasites. The shape of this creature, I've seen something like it before, more than once perhaps. It looks like the bugs of Hollow Nest, but not quite the same. Where did these empty little wanderers come from? Skilled protector of Hollow Nest's ruins, wields a needle and thread. I've seen this nimble little creature. I thought her prey had pounced at her, but with a flash she stabbed me with her flying stinger and darted away. Could she be a hunter? I guess that's it. I don't know. For some reason I feel like there was something I was missing. And then I guess I should figure out where I want to go. Let's try Queen's Station. Nope. By way of the City of Tears. Oh, the one on Hornet? Enjoy the sound of the rain. God, I'm hungry. I don't think there's going to be any... I mean, there's not that much open with the lockdown, let alone at this hour. I don't know. I'll work it out. I kind of avoided getting groceries because it's been so cold out, but at no point did I think, well, if I pick a not so terrible day, you know, I am a little uncomfortable and I have groceries, and I apparently decided that I could outlast the I could outlast the cold, and yeah, no, I can't. You know, it wasn't so much the spikes, it was the fact that my my drag sort of stopped. And I just wasn't paying attention, so if I'd been going slower, I would have been able to react. If I had been paying attention, I might have been able to react, or at the very least slow down again. But it was the combination of the two. You can sort of see where, like, why I called it for the Coliseum, because I'm doing things like dodging when dashing when I should be jumping. And I don't know why I keep coming back here thinking that there's going to be something different. But yeah, dashing instead of jumping, you know, missing pretty obvious platforms. There's a certain point at which I just kind of, you know, I hit my peak, especially with a game like this, especially when I'm hungry. And any point afterwards is sort of you know, it's nice to haves. It's never, you know, it's I've never, like, I've definitely gone longer than I had intended for this game. It's never been time that I felt was poorly spent, but there is also just sort of a, in my own case, just sort of the moment, the recognition of my limits, let's say. All right. So again, I'm assuming that there's either something that will make me immune to the hot water, or that will allow me to sort of empty out or drain out the hot water. The other thing that I neglected, and I wish I checked out now, is it did say that all the gates were open for the king, and I think that's referring to the gates in the City of Tears. That could also mean the darkened barriers. I'm sorry I reflexively checked the map. No! Take a minute and see what the entry on these guys says. I gotta go the other way. I guess it's the moss fly. They spend their whole lives hiding and fleeing. How sad. Or perhaps that is the life they choose for themselves and they enjoy it. It's a strange thought, but not impossible. What do I think this is going to accomplish? I deserve that. Hey, get back here! Lost. This is the worst place to put the blue health. Yeah, well, we knew what was we knew what was going to happen there. All right, I really gotta smarten up. All right, unrelated to That's a dirty, dirty trick. Okay, Stagway is up and to the left. So, King's Gate, I think. Or King's, you know what I mean. So next stream, I think I'm gonna work through the. We're not like next Hollow Knight stream. I think I'm probably gonna work through the implications of the doors being open to the king. Now, in terms of areas that I can check, technically there's some upper levels in the City of Tears. Although it's entirely possible it's just very high ceilings that I haven't checked out. There's really no reason to. Excuse me. I feel like we've handled the Royal Waterways pretty well. I don't think there's much for us to see in Deep Nest. It might be that there's something down below here. Maybe checking out the tramway wouldn't be a waste of time. I don't think there's anything in the Ancient Basin anymore. The Hive, I think we did a pretty good job of checking out, and Kingdom's Edge seems to have been taken care of as well. Well, then again, Kingdom's Edge... No, Kingdom's Edge does have an area I haven't checked out yet, so that... also, there's the idea of the doors. So, Kingdom's Edge is a candidate. Crystal Peak, because of the higher level. We never really did do a whole lot in King's Pass, so I should take a look there. Apparently there's an area in the left in the Fungal Wastes, although I think that's the one where I need to somehow like get through an impossible to crawl through area. But yeah, so City of Tears is probably candidate number one for where I want to be checking stuff out. following that. I really feel like in the fog, I should be able to go further left than I actually do. Yeah, let's say City of Tears, Howling Cliffs, although I don't expect to find too much there. That'll also have the nice side effect of giving me a chance to stop by Dirtmouth again and say hi to everyone. Actually, you know what? This works out pretty well as far as a pattern. So check out the City of Tears. You know, somehow get to the Howling Cliffs. I guess I'll go through Dirtmouth and then to the Howling Cliffs, and then that sort of naturally lends itself towards a trip to Crystal Peak. And then sort of at that point, it sort of seems natural to go and check out Kingdom's Edge. The other possibility is that I find something interesting to do in the City of Tears, at which point it's, you know, a pretty easy decision to go and check out the Coliseum of Fools. Oh, that's right. Sorry, there's one other detail, which is there seems to be this gap between Kingdom's Edge and the Royal Waterways, and I never seem to quite settle on where that passageway ends. So I should probably check that out at some point. But yeah, so I have a couple of spots that I can check out at my leisure. As far as the rest of the stream is concerned, so there's a lot that I have. There's a lot I have on my plate. So there's real work that I need to do on the weekend. There are the projects that I'm working on. A lot of data work that I want to, you know, get. At the very least, I want to get a document prepared so that, you know, people can say this wasn't quite what we were expecting. Could you maybe do X? I feel like at the very least I owe people that. I'm going to record some more Cultist Simulator as well as some more Oblivion. I believe I've got at least one episode in reserve for Oblivion, and I'd like to get that way for Cultist Simulator again. And then I don't want to plan it this way, but I will say as a caution, I might decide on holding back on Hollow Knight next week. And the only reason for that is I'm 99% sure that Phantom Brigade is getting a new patch next week. Oh, you know what? It'll probably be after Monday, though. So, that's... Well, you know what? It still works one way or the other. So Phantom Brigade's kind of become my Monday game lately. I'd really like to do Industries of Titan again, because the new patch is interesting, and I don't want it to just be one run. And so that raises the question as to whether or not Everspace 2 gets dumped back for yet another week, or I do something else. So, again, I gotta make it all work. It's also possible that I'll just maybe add a stream on Thursday. I guess it depends on how much I get stuff done, but... if I skip Hollow Knight, it's not because I'm getting tired of it or anything like that. It's just I want to try and be a little more balanced on some of the keys that people have given me, and I believe Everspace 2 has actually gotten a patch as well. So there's just a bunch of updates to some games which I had previously committed to doing, whereas Hollow Knight is sort of a fun game. It's one that I'm enjoying, but I feel like we're at a point here where if I had a gap, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I feel like people could manage without a week. But as with anything, if you prefer something else, let me know, and I'll try and accommodate as long as it stays interesting for me. Who is streaming tonight? We got a few people. Okay, I'm going to give a few shout-outs here, and I'll let you guys decide. I'll probably leave it with Night Valian tonight, because I actually have missed out on Missed out on hosting him a couple of times. So first of all, there's Valiant Cheese. Valiant Cheese is currently doing some game development. He works almost... Okay, he doesn't work exclusively in Godot. His preference is the Godot engine, which I figured probably Eyes of Sin will like. I hope your friend is using that for his visual novel. Yeah, so it looks like he's working on a new game, which I think will be really interesting for at least some of you. And so I got to collaborate with him on a game called Supply Chain, and then I also covered his game Hive Time, which seemed to be a bit of a hit. So if you guys are interested in game development, I definitely recommend it. He's probably worked on some stuff that you've enjoyed. He worked on the Full Throttle and Day of the Tentacle sort of remasters. I believe he did the Linux ports for those. He worked on Hand of Fate 2. I don't know if he worked on Hand of Fate, but definitely worked on Hand of Fate 2. I feel like there's another bigger one. Oh, Massive Chalice. So anyways, definitely somebody who I think a lot of you would be interested in. Next up, we've got Apocalypse. Apocalypse is currently doing Apex Legends. She's a really wonderful streamer. The only thing I'll say is I think with Apex Legends, she sometimes tends to focus a little bit more on the people she's playing the game with. But I do owe her a host. I feel like it's been a while since I've hosted her, so I would have made her my first choice had there not been these other two. But we will be raiding Night Valian 28, who was in the channel earlier tonight. So he is currently playing Yakuza. The game is tagged as Yakuza, so whatever Yakuza game is called Yakuza is the one that we will. That's the one that we'll be watching. So thank you everybody for watching. I will see you at the very latest on Monday for some Phantom Brigade. And then my guesses here will be Wednesday is Industries of Titan, and Thursday or Friday will be Everspace 2. If I can get Everspace 2 in on Thursday, then I'll do Hollow Knight on Friday. That's the deal. And of course Tuesday for Oblivion. I'm tired. Have a good night. See you guys next time.